All right, so I'm going to get started here by just taking, basically almost everything as far as the redstone and the building blocks are concerned. Let's see, I want to do this. I want to get these here, and actually I'll do this. We're going to need lots of chests, over 2 stacks of chests. So there's an awful lot of wood that you're going to need as well, and then a lot of droppers. All right. Okay, this is a big build, but it's kind of repetitive. So I'm going to show you how to do this, like I said, in survival using a series of jump cuts. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start in the back of the build on the right-hand side. Okay. So I'm going to come over into the corner here. And using a block of your choice for building, I'm just going to use smooth blocks. I'm going to come over 2, actually over 3, and in 1. So you got 2 blocks of space here and a block of space here. And you're going to place 2 blocks just like this. Okay. Then we need to place a temporary block right here so that we can place another block there and on top. And we can get rid of the temporary block. So we have this shape right here. And then to that, we're going to add some redstone. I want a repeater that leads into this block. And, oh, that's something I didn't grab. Plus some redstone dust. So let's come back and grab a hold of the redstone dust. We're going to be using a lot of this. I'm going to take it all. And how come, wow, I didn't take a bunch of stuff. Okay. Everything else comes later. Okay. So let's grab some of this. We're going to put a piece of redstone dust here. Okay. Now back here, this is heading out towards the front. All right. We're going to put a redstone torch right here and a comparator pointing in to this block right here. Now above this torch feeding into this comparator, we're going to have a dropper in a little while. And then this little mechanism is going to sense whether there's an item in that dropper. And if there's an item, it's going to activate this comparator. It's going to power this block, which will then turn this torch off. So you notice it's on now. So it's creating this little ring that powers straight into this block. And remember, there's a torch back here. Because this block is on, this block over here is off. So the dropper will sense something in it, and it'll reverse the state of this torch, which will activate the dropper and push an item in. Okay, so that'll get us started with this piece. Now I'm just going to build up here, and now we have to create, and you can kind of see it over here, we have to create a torch tower that goes straight up 10 blocks. Okay, 10 blocks will allow us to have 5, right? See, like this redstone torch, 5 redstone torches above this comparator. And here's how we'll do it. I'm going to point right at the top of that torch. All right, and I want to just swing this around a little bit to make it easier for later. Whoops. There we go. We're just going to kind of repeat this. So I'm going to hop up here, swing around, put another block, a torch, okay? But now this is one of those front-facing ones right above this comparator. I can't put it on this block because the comparator is in the way. So there's the first of 5, okay? So I'll actually use the torches to count, okay? So I'm going to swing around. All right, hold my shift key down. There's my second one. Swing around. There's my third one. Swing around. Fourth one. And then we're heading towards the last one here. And then when you're up here on the last one, you don't need to put a torch here because this is the top of the stack, okay? But you're going to come over here, and this is where you're going to place your 5th one. And I'm going to jump down here onto the grassy area. And you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And we'll bring this back down. All right, so this will get us started with one of the torch towers. This is going to feed one of the bulk units in the back of the system. And there are 5 bulk units. So we are going to need 5 of these. So here's the beginning of the first one. And if you remember over here, we spaced it out by 2. You need to repeat that. So it's going to be 2 blocks in your next torch tower. 2 blocks, torch tower, 2 blocks, torch tower, and 1 more, torch tower. Okay? So you should have 5 of these torch towers before we're ready to continue. All right, I'm going to go off camera, finish these, and then I'll be back. Okay, guys, that'll finish that piece off. So we've got 5 torch towers that we're going to use to toggle a bunch of droppers. Okay. So to get started with the next piece, I'm going to create a little bit of scaffolding down here to make moving around up here a little easier. All right, so what we want to do now is come over to our droppers. And the first one I want to do is I'm going to hold the shift key down. Actually, I don't know if I have to do it on this one. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Okay. We want these droppers to be facing straight up. So I'm going to hold my shift key down so I can kind of creep forward. So I can look at the top of this torch. Come back a little bit. And what I'm going to do is jump. And as I jump, I'll place the dropper. All right. So excuse me. So I want to have these. Let's see, if you're good, I guess you don't even have to use shift. Have these 5 pointing straight up. Okay. And then if I look over here, you can see behind this ladder is a stack of droppers. And there's actually 11 droppers. So the first 10 are going to be like this guy. They're going to point straight up. So I'm going to do that now. Now you have to hold the shift key down or else you're going to activate the dropper interface. So I'll hold shift down. This is the first one. I'm just going to do the jump place, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you did it right, you should be able to turn around and find out that you're right across from that top torch. This is where the 11th dropper needs to go. But this dropper needs to be facing out this way. Okay, and the easiest way to do that is to just go into creep, back yourself off a little bit, come down 2 droppers and place a piece of dirt. And then back yourself off so you drop onto this little ledge. That should be low enough so that if you hold your shift key down, you can place that last dropper, that 11th dropper, facing straight out. Okay? Now again, you've got 4 more of these. So, you know, if you're not in peaceful, you're going to take a little damage here unless you got some boots on. But I'm going to just drop onto the next dropper and repeat the same thing 4 more times. Okay, that'll finish that piece off. So this piece here is roughly done already, okay? An item is going to enter this dropper, activate this little piece, it'll toggle this torch on, it'll push the item that's in this dropper up, this torch will turn off, this torch will toggle, and it'll continue, and it'll shoot straight up the line. The top guy is going to shoot out and into a series of hoppers that'll put it into the chests, okay? But the next piece we need to do is bring out some of our hoppers now. And what we're going to need to do is to create a mechanism to read this hopper. So I want to point at this bottom dropper, hold the shift key down, and place a hopper into this, okay? And this is how the items will get into all of the stacks, okay? And then what we need to do is go back to our clean stone, and we're going to create another little mechanism that will be connected right to this hopper, right? So it comes out 2 blocks, down 1 block. Then down here, this block here is right under. You're going to come well, actually, you're going to start there. You want 2 here and 1 here. So if you look at it, it's like 2 little angles like this. You see that? And this is going to tie some more redstone in. You're going to have another redstone torch here that's going to activate this hopper, right? And then we need a repeater there, a piece of redstone here. You can see it right there. And then if we come back up top here, can we get over there? Yeah, with a little bit of help. With a little bit of help. We're going to come over here. We need another piece of redstone here. And then we're going to toss a comparator right there. All right, so I'm going to come down again. So this is something that we're going to add another hopper to. So if I just hold the shift key down, I point it at the front edge of this comparator. So we've got, this is going to be our testing hopper right here to see what should go into the sorting system, okay? So this guy here will be programmed to check for a particular item. And if a particular item comes in here, it'll activate the comparator, turn this piece of redstone on, this piece of redstone on, which will activate this block, send power to this repeater, activate this block, this torch will turn off, and then the item can get sucked in and pushed in, and then this mechanism takes over and straight up the shot. Okay, so let me just build up a little bit so you can see what's going on here. Okay, this was already here, so it's an angle, start by the comparator pointing out to the front. All right, then get in here, hold your shift key down, place another hopper into this comparator, right? Redstone, redstone, repeater pointing in, and a redstone torch on the front. Okay? All right, so let's repeat that 4 more times as well. All right? Okay, guys, that piece is now done. So we're almost totally done. Actually, these are totally done. We just now need a way to get the items from the rest of the system into this system. So let's actually work on that one next. So come down to the end here. And again, I'm going to use some of these stone blocks to come out 3 from the dropper right above this hopper. And then I'm going to add another block right here so that I have something to place a hopper against. So I'm going to come up here again, and I've left all this dirt in just to make it a little easier to get up here where we need to go. And what I want to do here is I want to make a line of hoppers that run along the tops of these hoppers, running in that direction. Okay, so that's where this little piece comes in. So I can just point right here, no shift key needed, and just click a hopper. Then I'll hold the shift key down to connect a hopper to that hopper. And then if I hop up onto these hoppers and come out to the edge, I'm just going to hold the shift key down to help move back and forth. If you're on the edge, you won't do this weird fall in. Can I get that to happen? Sometimes you get this weird thing where it's almost like you fall into the hopper. And that's kind of strange. So I'm just going to use that creep and go backwards to build this line. And over here I shot off by 2 from this dropper line. I'm going to keep going, and when I get to the other end, I want to shoot off by 1. Okay, so just hold your shift key down, back up, place this line of hoppers. Okay, and we'll hop down and we'll see what it looks like from down below. We're almost there. All right, so here's the last one. So I'm going to place this hopper, and then I want to offshoot by 1. All right, then I'm going to come down, and if we step back a bit, you can see that they're all pointing towards the left. Okay, so they're going to be attempting to go into the modules in the front. Down here is that last module. If it can't go into the last module, it's going to come around and it's going to hit this, and it's going to start its travel this way. And then over here is where it's going to loop back in and attempt to either go into the overflow, or if it's a stick, one of those muffler sticks that'll keep going around in the circle. All right. So now what I need to do is come over to the chest, and there's a section here where you've got groups of 22. So here's what we're going to do here. I'm just going to temporarily move some of these items out of the way. And this is number 5. So I'm going to point here and press 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. These blocks of 22, excluding this one. So these blocks of 22, in that exact order, is what each of these bulk units is going to be for. So this one will be for our cobble, this will be for our dirt, this will be for our sand, this will be for our gravel, and this will be for our netherrack. All right. So the reason we need 22 has to do with this hopper right here, the one that's pointing in to this comparator. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this hopper, and I'm going to take these 22. Now, if all that redstone was correct, you should be able to place a piece of cobble in, and it doesn't go anywhere. Okay? And you're going to fill in every block of this hopper to populate it with these 22 blocks. What order you put them in is totally up to you, as long as you make sure you have at least one of each of the blocks filling all 5 of these. I just tend to do it this way. A hopper will always attempt to fill the first slot if it can. Once you get 64 in here, it goes to the second slot and so on. But with 22 in here, you've basically maxed out the hopper. When a 23rd item comes in, it'll fall through. Okay, the hopper itself will push it through. So since all 5 of them are filled with cobble, if an item comes along above that's not cobble, it can't come down in, and it keeps traveling. But the instant a piece of cobble pops in, there'll be 2 pieces of cobble here. The mechanism over here will kick in, and it'll allow one of those 2 to drop down into that hopper that leads into the dropper tower and send it on up in for storage. You see how that works? Okay, so I'm just going to back up, and I'm going to go to the next one. This will be for dirt, and I'm going to populate it the same way. And like I said, as you're filling this, if you're putting them in and you're noticing that all of a sudden the hopper seems to be drawing it in right away, then you goof somewhere with your redstone. You probably missed one of the redstone torches, would be my guess. Okay, so I'm just going to come here and finish adding these. And so far I haven't goofed, so that's a good thing. And one more, and I got some more. Got some more scaffolding back here. Okay, and this will be for the netherrack. Okay, and then what we could do is take one of these for a trip. Okay, so now we got our 6. All right, so good. Okay, so our second one over here, I think we had programmed for dirt. Yeah. And right now the chests aren't in place. They're going to be the next thing we put in. But if the mechanism works, I should be able to come over here and in this hopper, place a piece of dirt. It'll travel over to this tester, say that it's a dirt, drop in, come up here, and then this dropper should shoot a piece of dirt out over to here. So if I do this fast enough, and I'm going to actually put one piece of dirt in here. Can I get in there? I want to do this fast enough so I can see the action. All right, let's see what happens. Watch these torches. They may blink. Did I do it right? That's interesting. Let's come over here. Did I goof something up? No. Okay, let's see. Maybe. Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's going to be right here. There it is. Okay. The bulk is not lossless. The bulk has a loss of about 1 to 2 blocks. The sorting modules, the sorting modules will not lose anything. The sticks, the muffler sticks, will work their way through the top piece here, but not this one here. Okay, so watch. If I put in the second one, it's going to push that other one out, and then we should see some action. Let's see. There it goes. You see that? Boom. And then it spits it out. Okay? And then, just for good measure, hey, let's toss 5 in there, just for kicks. So yeah, there's always going to be 1 extra in the system. See the torch tower working? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So 39, 44 it should be, right? And there's 1 hiding over here. There it goes. Okay? So that shows us that the dirt is working. The other ones will work too. I just don't have any to show you as well. Okay? All right, so now we need some chests to put these in. Okay? And before I do that, I want to bring out my shovel again and clean up some of this scaffolding, because now it's going to get a little tight in here for later on. So let's just take a second and get rid of this. And we're going to need chests, dirt, and hoppers for the next piece. Okay. We have this line of droppers. So here's what we're going to do. We brought our ladders out. So I'm going to come out of the hole. And I'm going to come over to this side where those little droppers are. And we're going to use the ladders right here. I'm going to hold the shift key down. Right where they start off of this line here, I'm just going to place ladders. And maybe, there it goes, perfect. Then I can just use this as a way to get up top. Okay. All right, so now, again, just to make it a little easier to work, I'm going to add in some dirt to help us out here. Okay, when it comes out of this, we need it to go into a hopper. Okay, the hopper needs to go into a chest. So to get us started there, I need us to, remember this piece of dirt? It's going to come in handy because I'm going to place some extra dirt here that we can get rid of in a minute. But I want to do this. Actually, that's as far as we have to go. This will allow us to have a place to put our opening box right here. And then I'll double it right there. Okay? Again, I'll hold the shift key down. And, well, close. Close to falling off there. Okay. And I think I have to jump up here. Oh, it doesn't want to. That's weird. All right, there it goes. So we need to do the same thing over here, okay? So we'll do that real fast. I'll just come over and add an extra piece. Come off. We need the extra piece here because that's where the first chest will go. Whoops. Oh, that was lucky. That was lucky. I thought he was going to go down to the ground. There's 1, and there's 2, and 1 more. 1 more will finish us off. Okay. So now we'll come along, and again, using the shift key, we're going to angle these hoppers into that first chest, okay? Just like that. So it comes up the tower. This guy will push it into the hopper. This hopper will push it into the chest. All right. And now what we want to do, and if I come over here, you'll see it. You can see it over here. I want to stagger the next 5 chests like that. You see that? Okay. And again, you know, you can do this whatever way you want to do this. I'll do one of them with you, and then I'm going to have to just use scaffolding to do the next. Okay. There's some dirt here, so I'm just going to get rid of the dirt. There we go. Okay. If you what do you call it? Hold the shift key down, right? And I'm on this line here. You know, come as close as you can. Don't let go of the shift. You're angled wrong, but if you jump up, you see how you get your bounding box? You can use that to place a chest. Okay? So I'm just going to come along here and get rid of the dirt. And then again, come right out to the edge, place your chest. I'm going to do that, all right? And then I'm going to just do what I showed you over there, stagger. So the next 5 are going to stagger out, all right? So I'll be back when I finish that. Okay, guys, I'm back again. So I've just staggered 5 chests below that top one that we placed. And again, if you look over here at the mock-up, the last one, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chests, all right? The last one comes out an extra block. All right, I've got a little dirt scaffolding that I was using to place these. So what I'm going to do now is see if I can't place the first one, yeah, like this. So I'm just holding the shift key down, walking across these hoppers, and placing one last one over here. And there we go. Then I'll come over here and we can use that same set of scaffolding again, because now we can plop it out. See that? Okay. And then the last piece, and if you look at it here, is to add in the missing hoppers. So we have this one and it's pointing into here. All right. I have another one that points into here. This one doesn't have anything to do with this. This one is going back, so it's pointing into this, down, into this, down, into this, down, into this, down, into this. And this is the one you see from the front that you have access to get in, all right? So for that, we need to get over here on the back again. And again, just holding the shift key down, we should be able to add in most of the missing ones. Actually, let's do the easy ones first. So the first 2 are easy. Bang, bang. Okay, bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Okay. The next one you can do if you're off to the side, like this. All right, and then the last one on this side, if you hold your shift key down and you jump, you can get it up there, all right? And if you're in the middle, you can actually do 2 of them from one side. So again, we just finished that. So I'm going to point here, jump, place. Come over here, jump, place. These you don't have to jump. And then I got this one last one over here. Place, whoops, shift key, place it, jump, place it. And then we need to come back over to the dirt scaffolding again. And there are 2 more. So you can place them here and here. And again, just scoot yourself out so you can see this chest. Here and here. Here and here. So you can see most of our equipment or materials are used basically just for these, okay? All right, so then I am just going to use the shovel to remove this piece of scaffolding. it on down. Okay, now as I was removing pieces of dirt, I caught most of it, but some of it may have fallen into these lines here. So you may, if it fell over here, you may find dirt, yep, sitting in here, okay? Because it fed its way through. This is the one that checks for dirt. It shot up, it fed all the way through, and we found it here. If it fell over here, you may find it in the last one over here. Yeah, see, we have one over here. Okay, so we'll pull that one out. All right, so that'll complete the bulk units right there. All right, so that piece is totally finished. All right, I did a lot of cutscenes here, but I was actually recording while I was building so we can keep track of how much of the building materials I've used. So I need to take a break so I can save this piece of video out, and then we'll continue. I'll be right back.